And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Daytona International Speedway for Thursday Night Thunder. Should be gridding here shortly. We're waiting on the field to finish qualifying. Looks like we've got Gary Whitmer Jr. on the pole with Edward Bray in second. Paul Pillazer in third. Dave Acacia in fourth. And that is not correct. I apologize. I am still continuing to have issues with this grid. Not exactly sure why. Giving me issues. So, sitting on the front row, we've got the number 22 of John Rogers. Sitting outside, Braden Ambermill. Second row inside, Richard Brose. Second row outside, Junior Johnson. Looks like third row inside will be Gary Whitmer Jr. Outside will be Trevor Denton. Inside, Edward Bray.
Green flag.
Pace car is in, and we are going green. John Rogers gets out to a slight lead there. Richard Brose behind him. Gary Whitmer Jr. fourth in line, possibly peeking to the outside, gonna see if he can get some help, and he does. He gets Edward Bray to go to the outside with him. Richard Rose pulls up into that middle lane. Gary Whitmer Jr. gonna push on him possibly and put him up front. Watch these drivers circle this 2.479 mile track. Rogers currently showing in first place. Richard Bros outside fighting hard in second. Number 26 on the inside. Inside line is got a train coming. The outside only has 3 cars. We'll see how that works out. Got a spinner on the back stretch. Looks like caution will probably be coming out, which it does.
Get more acclimated to it, or is it still difficult?
See if we can see what happened here. Swing these cameras around. Back that up one more time. It looks like the incident actually started just a tad bit forward of them. We'll go right along with Joel Guy and see what he saw. Oh, might have been a little bit of net code there with the 27 and 21. That created issues behind them. So our first caution out after only 4 laps. John Rogers currently in that first position. Richard Bros, Braden Habermill, Gary Whitmer Jr., and Garrett Potts. John Rogers has led all 4 of the first 4 laps. Don't expect we'll be seeing any pitting this early. Not much benefit to pit this early, but let's go ahead and take a ride with the blimp. See if we can catch anybody ducking off into pit road. Once again, welcome to Thursday Night Thunder here at Daytona International Speedway, Daytona Beach, USA. Running the Impala B cars tonight. That's the old COT car from a few years ago. These cars drive very well. They're pretty easy to drive. While we've got a moment, I'd like to give a shout out there to tonight's sponsor, RTK Motorsports. And it looks like we had somebody ducking in, trying to fake him out, looking like he was gonna go pit, and decided to stay out. Like to say hi to anybody out there watching on the KMA TV chat. Be happy to entertain you for the next 94 laps. Hopefully we can get some green flag racing in and get some green flag pit stops. Walk back through the field here. Got John Rogers, as I said, in first position. Richard Burrows in second position. Braden Habermill in third. Gary Whitmer Jr. in fourth. Garrett Potts sits in fifth. Edward Bray sixth. David Williams sits seventh. Aldo Villamil sits eighth. J.R. Johnson currently in ninth. Justin Brenn sits 10th. Paul Pilzer 11th. Jeremy Funk 12th. Trevor Denton 13th. Danny Rudy 13th. Dave Acacia giving up a position on the racetrack to come down pit road. Let's take a ride with him down pit road and see what he's up to. See if he's just going to maybe take some tires or some fuel. See if we can catch what he's doing by riding along here. Looks like just a fuel only, a little top off. That'll drop him back to like 18th position in that good looking Ritz, Oreo, Oscar Mayer, Planners, Merrick-Whip. He's got about every sticker and sponsor on there that you can think of. I think I even see Kraft on the back. Oh, there's Maxwell House. Interesting paint scheme. Very nice looking paint scheme. Jump back up here with our leaders and see if we're about to take the green flag or not. They are double file, meaning we are going to go green. John Rogers once again still leading. Lights are off on the pace car. See if we can give you a little bit different vantage point here for this restart. The pace car is off.
Green flag.
Green flag is out, and we are going racing again, folks. John Rogers jumps out to an early lead here. The number 26, Braden Habermill, on his tail. Richard Burrows ducks down from that outside lane down to the inside lane. Get to see some drafting and Possibly a little bit of bumpers being pushed on here. One thing about Daytona, high speeds like that, there's a little bumper contact. Richard Bros looks like he's making a move to the outside with Gary Whitmer and Edward Bray in tow. Meanwhile, inside you've got the number 40 of Garrett Potts and the number 11 of David Williams on that inside lane. Back to the outside lane, you got the number 28 of Aldo Villamil. A little further back, looks like J.R. Johnson and Paul Pellizier. Ooh, little movement out of the 26 there. Gave that outside line quite the scare, as well as me. Don't want to be seeing that this early in the race. We're going to jump up to the chopper view and see if we can watch these guys go around and see what it's like for them moving side to side under that draft. That draft does affect how these cars do drive. It's not like you can just go out there and drive in the draft and the car drives exactly the same as if you weren't. Outside lane just not quite as strong as the inside lane at this point in the race. Could be a matter of patience, or it could be a matter of one driver not feeling comfortable enough to push on another driver. Keep walking back through the field a little further. Watching our guy Garrett Potts in third. Jump back in the field a little blaze and see where our favorite number 91 of Joel Guy, sporting my favorite paint job in that City Chevrolet. Looks like Mr. Joel Guy has a tad bit of rear end damage to that City Chevrolet. Must not be too bad because he's still able to stay with the draft. Neat looking paint job on that number 91. Oh, looks like we may have another caution here, folks. A lot of cars striding down from the track. Let's see if we can't find out exactly what happened.
How are you doing, bud?
Alrighty, let's see if we can see what happened here. Oh, it looks like the number 40 and the 66 get together. Let's jump up to chopper view. Get with the number 66. And we'll back that up. Number 40 of Garrett Potts on the inside and number 66 of Edward Bray on the outside. Going into turn 3, everything looks good. Oh, it looks like the number 28 may have actually gotten into the back of the 66. Back that up one more time and we'll change the camera angle just a little bit. Yes, indeed, it looks like the 28 may have gotten into the back of the 66. I'll have to wait and see what that means for the rest of the field. Hopefully, everybody can get that damage fixed and get back out there. Looks like Edward Bray coming off of pit road right now has some left side damage. No right side damage. The front of the car looks pretty good. Check in with one of our other victims, number 40 of Garrett Potts. Garrett Potts coming back to pit road or just making it to pit road, one or the other. It looks like he has much more damage than the number 66 of Edward Bray had. I would have to say that Mr. Potts will probably be getting the backup car out here. I don't think he'll be able to keep up to speed, but it looks like he's going to try it. He's going to see if they can get it repaired and get back out on the track. Let's take another visit back up front with Mr. John Rogers. Let's see if we can get Mr. Edward Bray in here.
User was moved to your channel.
Edward Bray, Ron Klein here in the booth. You got a copy?
Got a copy, Ron.
How you doing, Edward? We're just watching the replay, and looks like a little bit of contact out there might have sent you spinning. Is that what you felt, saw?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what was going on. I had seen my mirror that the 28 was coming pretty much hot and heavy on me, and as soon as he was right on my tail, I went sideways. So I'm not exactly sure if there was a little bit of net code, because I knew that he was blinking a little bit earlier, and he ghosted through me. So yeah, unfortunate break, but came in, got the car pretty much fixed up, and we'll see how it handles.
Yeah, it looks like you just got a little bit of right side damage there. A lot less damage than Mr. Potts. Mr. Potts was in the pit road and getting some repairs, so hopefully that'll turn out well for him. But glad to see that you're back out there and you didn't have to get the backup car out yet. Just wanted to get you up here a quick second and see what you had to say about it, and I'll let you go, and I'm gonna grab another one of our racing partners and see if I can talk with him real quick. Best of luck to you, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again tonight.
Appreciate it, Ron.
Thanks.
User was moved out of your channel. User was moved to your channel.
Paul Pellizier, Ron Klein here in the booth. Have you got a copy, sir?
I do, Ron. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
We got you sitting currently in second place. Talk to me about your night so far and how you managed to make it up to second place.
Well, I made it up here by not pitting, but I'm a little uncomfortable. There's a lot of people I don't know and haven't raced with around me at the moment.
Copy that. We're taking a walk around your car currently, and beautiful black and red paint scheme. Talk to me about the paint scheme.
It's just something I whipped up, trying to be unique and original, which I like to do.
Well, a man of few words, but pretty impressive paint job. Looks great out there tonight. Good luck to you. Looks like you guys are getting ready to line up to go double file. Hope to see you up front, and hope to talk to you again tonight later.
Thanks, Ron, and yeah, have a good show.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
User was moved out of your channel.
Alrighty, and the lights are out on the pace car, so unfortunately we are out of time to get in any more of our driver interviews. Currently Paul Pellizier is sitting in the second position outside of the number 28 of Aldo Villamil. Behind them we've got the number 32 of Justin Brent on the inside and the number 22 of John Rogers on the outside. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of a different vantage point once again as we get ready to go back green.
Green.
Looks like the number 28 of Aldo Villamil has jumped out to a slight lead. Coming up to his bumper, you got the number 32 of Justin Bren. Outside lane starting to move a little more than it was earlier. John Rogers pushing on Paul Pellizier with Gary Whitmer Jr. behind him. Down on that inside lane, the number 26 of Braden Hambermill and the 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson. Back a little further in the pack, I can see Dave Acacia, 125 of Lee Ryerson Jr. That City Chevrolet stands out. See the 66 of Edward Bray back there. Looks like Junior Johnson's back there as well. I'll throw up a comparison here, but not going to see a lot of speed differential here, folks. As we're coming, we just completed lap 19. We're coming to lap 20. We've only had 3 lead changes. I'll go ahead and throw up the summary here. Summary leader is Mr. Villamil. Got 19 laps completed out of 100 laps. Only had 3 lead changes and 2 cautions for a total of 8 laps. Looks like the pack is starting to break up slightly. See if we can jump back. Jump into blimp mode here and get back with that second pack. Looks like that second pack is starting to make its way back up to the front pack. I'd like to give a big shout out to Becky Whitmer out there on the KMA TV chat. Thanks for tuning in, Becky. See if we can get a shot of Gary Whitmer Jr. here shortly. As the pack starts to come back together here, 11 seems to have dropped off the pace just slightly and may lose that draft. Gonna go take a ride inside the car of the number 5 Gary Whitmer Jr. Currently running 7th position. Gary Whitmer Jr. making a move on the outside, has quite the run behind John Rogers and what looks to be Paul Pellizier Jr. up in front. That inside lane fighting back. It's a seesaw battle back and forth. Each lap, who can push who the hardest? Which lane can move the farthest? Gary Whitmer Jr. out there doing a fine job, driving a great line, staying out of trouble. Oh, we got a spinner to the inside. See if we can jump back. I don't believe that's going to bring out a caution. Will not be able to bring that to you since we want to stay with this group live. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Like a spinner through the tri-oval down there near the flag stand, and that mixes things up front. We've got Paul Pellizier on the outside. John Rogers drops down to the inside. The number 28 going to come up on the back of the 22 and give him a shove. Gary Whitmer Jr. taking a slower approach. He's going to creep up to the back of the 31 and slowly push him up there, trying to make sure that he does not cause a wreck or cause damage to his car. Currently on lap 25 of 100. That outside lane just does not seem to be working. Number 28 dipping dangerously below that yellow line. Hopefully he can get back up before that causes major issues. Do not want to go into that corner doing exactly that. He's up and down and all around. He manages to keep it from spinning it around. Good job to the number 28. But that is going to put him in a bad situation. We've got a caution flag. Not sure exactly why that would come about. Looks like it happened up further towards the front there. Let's go ahead and back it up and see if we can figure out what happened. Looks like the 125 gets loose. Let's go ahead and back that up again. Gonna change our angle to chopper view. Oh, he just gets loose all by himself. Takes out a couple of cars in the process. hopefully these gentlemen will be able to get in and get these cars repaired and get back out. Jump back up front with our leader. Like Gary Whitmer Jr. and Edward Bray are headed down pit row probably to check on damage and get some pit service, since it is right around lap 30 now. These cars do get approximately 20 to 30 laps on a full tank of fuel, so this would be within the normal pit window anyways. It looks like Gary Whitmer Jr. came out of that pretty quickly, so either he used to reset his backup car or didn't have much damage. Gonna take a quick break here and be back here in just a few moments. And we are back, still under caution. The number 26 of Braden Hambermill is currently our leader. Showing Edward Bray in second, Gary Whitmer Jr. third, J.R. Johnson fourth, and Dave Acacia sit fifth. Total of 31 laps have completed out of 106 lead changes. This is our third caution. The lights are out on the pace car. Got about 3/4 of a lap and we'll be going back to green flag racing. So after that wreck, let's go ahead and take you through the field once again. Braden Habermill in first. Edward Bray in second. Gary Whitmer third. Junior Johnson fourth. Dave Acacia fifth. Garrett Potts sixth. Kevin Scott Nelson seventh. 28 of Aldo Villamil 9th. D. Ryerson Jr. 10th. John Rogers, I'm sorry, the 28th. 27, excuse me, Trevor Denton 10th. John Rogers 11th. Joel Guy 12th. Jeremy Funk 13th.
Green flag.
David Williams and Paul Pelletier Jr. rounding out the remainder of the field. Green flag is out. We're underway, and the number 26 has shot out in front of the field with Paul Pelletier and Gary Whitmer and Edward Bray hot on his heels. Edward Bray on that outside line has J.R. Johnson hooked up to his bumper looking to go forward. Gary Whitmer Jr. has now done the same to the number 26 as they are pushing. Outside lane does not have a lot of energy. Ooh, inside lane pushing up there. Looks like that outside lane is starting to move forward again. Edward Bray almost even with the number 26 of Braden Habermill. Looks like he's doing some side drafting to try to pull himself up there as another car joins that outside lane, and Gary Whitmer Jr. jumps out of line, moves up in front of Edward Bray and takes it to the front. We've got a car down on the apron, the number 27 car, I believe, of Trevor Denton, and gets into the wall. Don't know if that will bring the caution flag out or not. We're going to stay with the leaders. You've got Gary Whitmer Jr. with Edward Bray pushing on him up front. Junior Johnson on the outside with the number 28 pushing on him. Go up front here and take a ride with Gary Whitmer Jr. Tight racing here at Daytona. One little mistake is all it takes to create the big one, and we've had a couple of small ones already. The field is getting small at this point, so hopefully there won't be a big one or another big one. Like to just get in some good old green flag racing and some good green flag pit stops. Gary Whitmer Jr. continuing to lead. Edward Bray in second. Braden Habermill in third, J.R. Johnson in fourth, and Dave Acacia fifth. Take a look here at the number 5, the KMA Racing KMA TV Impala. Great paint job done by Gearhead Paint Shop. Look back one car, Edward Bray in the number 66. The left side's a little scraped up. Supporting KMA Racing. And the Reaper. Edward Bray, part of Black Talon Racing. His teammate, Lee Staples, not able to join us this evening. One more step back. Mr. Braden Habermill running the Hunt Brothers Pizza paint scheme. One more car back. You've got the number 37 of J.R. Johnson running the Coors Light paint scheme. Kind of reminds me of the days of Sterling Marlin running. To his outside, you've got the number 28 in a interesting paint job. Looks like the number 28 may be having some net code issues. He's jumping around. Here's the number 28. PartingManiacs.com. Looks like the number 28 is falling to the rear of the field. We'll kind of do this the reverse way. We'll jump up to the number 91 of Joel Guy, currently sitting in 9th position. Sporting the City Chevrolet paint job from one of my favorite movies, Days of Thunder. Then you've got the number 40 of Garrett Potts in the Mobile One Tracker Boats Bass Pro Shops paint scheme. Looking really good out there. Jumping forward up to 7th position, you've got the number 125 of Lee Ryerson Jr., who's going to the outside of the 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson. Lee Ryerson Jr. sporting the paint job for New Jersey, and I saw a Wrangler symbol on there. Jump up the 224. Kevin Scott Nelson supporting Juniper Networks. And we spoke about him earlier, but the number 20 of Dave Acacia in that interesting Ritz Oreo Craft and many other products paint scheme. Quite interesting. I've seen that car race multiple times, been out on the track with it multiple times, and never realized how many different products were placed on that. And we got smoke. Looks like there's going to be a caution on. Definitely going to be a caution. So we'll need to back it up just a little bit. See if we can find out what happened here. Looks like we've got the 125 on the outside, the number 5 on the inside. Looks like the number 20 car, possibly, may have gotten into the back of the 125. Back that up one more time and take a look at it. Number 125 beside the 5. There was just a slight bumper hook, it looks like, and the big one, as they say, folks, has just happened. It looks like it has taken out quite a few of the front runners. Now, hopefully these guys still have backup cars. We're looking at Edward Bray right now. There is a possibility that Mr. Bray may have already used up his backup car, because he is sitting there, so he will be under repair. Gary Whitmer Jr. is back out on the track. Looks like he's got damage. The 125 of Lee Ryerson Jr. He is currently on pit row. Looks like he is getting repairs. Gary Whitmer Jr., Paul Palliser Jr., and John Rogers all electing to pit, possibly coming in for some repairs as we complete lap 46, probably coming to 47. Paul Pellizier looks like not a lot of damage, or had to take a reset. Get the backup car out of the hauler. Jump forward to John Rogers. John Rogers looks like he's got a little bit of damage to the left rear and the right rear. Number 20 of David Casey looking pretty clean out there. Number 11 of David Williams. Looks like he has very, very minor damage to the rear of the car and to the side of the car. Maybe a little bit up front as well. Number 40 of Garrett Potts. He is clean. Clean as a whistle. Looking really good. Number 26. Take a walk around his car. Not seeing a lot of damage on his car. Looks like he's in pretty good shape. Little bit of damage right behind that right rear tire. ride along with the leader here. I can hear him shutting the engine down, so he must be trying to save some fuel by doing that. Alright, race fans, we're almost halfway through. Who do you think's gonna win? Hit me up on that KMA TV chat out there and let me know who you think's gonna win or who you're rooting for. The lights are out. Let's see if we can locate Mr. Edward Bray. Edward Bray's still getting repairs, it looks like, on pit road. Jump back up with our leaders. And grab Mr. Edward Bray real quick and give him a chat.
User was moved to your channel.
Edward Bray, this is Ron Klein in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Hey Edward, saw you got some damage there. Are you going to be able to make it back out on the track?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm definitely back out on the track now. We just had a really close side drafting, and it just, just one of those racing incidents. So came in, had to use get my backup car out. So we'll see what we got for the rest of the race.
Alrighty, well, I'll let you get to it. I know you guys are about to go back to green. I want to check in and see if you're going to make it back in. Good luck, sir.
Appreciate it.
User was moved
So
out of
Edward
your
Bray
channel.
able to get his backup car out. Pace car is about to duck off, and we're about to go green flag racing again with just 52 laps to go. They'll cross the start finish line, and it'll actually be 51 laps to go. And then number 26 gets out to a slight lead. Not really a great thing here at Daytona or tracks like Daytona or Talladega super speedways. You get out in front of that car too much, and like the outside lane, the two cars were kind of hooked together, so they were able, two cars can overcome the wind much more effectively than one car by himself. So that's how Mr. Potts has pulled ahead of the number 26. See if Garrett decides he wants to stay up top or if he's going to want to pull down in front of the number 26. Got number 26 and the number 11 working together on the inside, the number 40 and the number 20 working together on the outside. Number 31 of Paul Pellissier pulling up that outside lane as well. Number 22 of John Rogers down on the inside lane. Looks like Gary Whitmer Jr. and Edward Bray working together down on that bottom lane. Kevin Scott Nelson and Joel Guy working together on the inside lane. And it looks like that outside lane has cleared the inside lane up front. You got Garrett Potts, David Casey, and Paul Pellissier. They pulled down in front of the number 26 and the number 11. Meanwhile, the number 5 of Gary Whitmer Jr. and Edward Bray continued to work together and try to push forward. They have cleared the number 22 and they are going to go try to catch that front pack. John Rogers, Joel Guy, Kevin Scott Nelson, and Jeremy Funk all in the third pack, trying to catch up to that first and second pack, which has now virtually become one pack up front, because Gary Whitmer Jr. and Edward Bray have caught that pack. Gary Whitmer Jr. doing some side drafting there on the number 11 to get a bigger run. Edward Bray pushing on the outside. Garrett Potts, once again, your leader. David Casey is still in second. Paul Pellizier in third. Braden Hambull in fourth. David Williams fifth. Gary Whitmer Jr. and Edward Bray sixth and seventh. I apologize for that. They're eighth and ninth, folks. Gary Whitmer Jr. and Edward Bray are each one lap down, so they'll be fighting to get their laps back. Kevin Scott Nelson also one lap down this time. Looks like everybody is pretty happy to just kind of run in line right now. Let's see if Gary Whitmer Jr. and Edward Bray will try to make a run to the outside and try to get their lap back the hard way. Gary Whitmer Jr. and Edward Bray do have a run to the outside as Paul Pellizier pulls out. Paul Pellizier looks like he wants to go to the front. That outside line is not working as well as it was just a lap ago. Garrett Potts continues to lead them down on that inside lane with Dave Acacia and the number 26 of Braden Hambermo and Joel Guy sitting in fourth position in that City Chevrolet. Garrett Potts continuing to lead. Lap 57 of 100 coming in lap 58. Gary Whitmer Jr. and Edward Bray not able to mount a challenge. Thought that they might go up there and get their lap back the hard way, but they have fallen to the back of this pack. And looks like they are going to just run in the back and possibly try a pit strategy of some sort instead. David Acacia continuing to push on Garrett Potts, while the number 26 of Braden Hammerbull sits in third position. Joel Guy in fourth. Joel Guy, quite a bit of racing experience in the simulators. I know he'd like to have a great finish tonight. Like to give some recognition to some of our other sponsors in KMA. Our Monday night sponsor, GW Graphics. Want to thank them for helping KMA to continue running the Monday night series, the Xfinity series, each and every week. I'd like to also give a big shout out to Jason Russo and Pro Automotive, sponsoring our Tuesday night series, the Truck Series. Big thank you to them. Our Friday night series sponsor, Blaze Pizza. Another big shout out to them. Thank you for your contributions. All these people that sponsor us, allow us to do this throughout the week. Appreciate what you do. Something we talk about here a lot in KMA is PAD, people against distracted driving. When I was growing up, it was, and that organization may still be out there, but when I was in high school, there was an organization by the name of MADD, M-A-D-D, that was Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Caution.
Oh, we've got a caution.
Alright, you talking about the car, bud.
See if we can back those cameras up and find out exactly what happened. Looks like another bumper hook of sorts. Back it up one more time. We're riding with Joel Guy. We're gonna ride in the chopper and see what we can see from the top view. Looks like the number 11 made a move to the outside. Oh. Really can't call that one, folks. Too tough to call for me. I'll let you at home figure out what might have caused that one, but Joel Guy unfortunately involved in that incident. Hopefully Joel will have a backup car left and he'll be able to get in pits and get her fixed. Watching the number 91 right now sitting on pit road. Not sure if he's getting repairs or if he had to tow. Looks like the number 91 is getting pit service right now. Now, as long as one of the 3 individuals that were a lap down, unless they were involved in that incident, that means that one of them is going to be getting their lap back. So if we go to our leader here, it's like there was a race off of pit road right there. Like the number 26 of Braden Habermel is going to be in first position. Gary Whitmer Jr. may be attempting to stay out and get his lap back by staying out. Have to wait and see if he ducks into pit road. Gary Whitmer Jr. does duck into pit road, and it looks like Edward Bray has gotten his lap back. So Edward Bray now on the lead lap. Go ahead and visit with one of our leaders.
User was moved to your channel.
David Casey, this is Ron Klein up in the booth. You got me?
Hey Ron, how are you?
I'm doing very well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, working out some strategy here and trying to stay clean the rest of the race.
I hear you. I hear you. A few more cautions than I expected tonight. Talk to me about your night and talk to me about that interesting paint job.
Well, we started near the back and we working on our way forward, you know, being patient. We did get caught up on one where we had to use a quick repair, but you know, we moved up and you know, we'll see what we can do here. We still got strategy to play out, and the paint scheme is an old throwback Matt Kenseth's paint scheme from when he ran nationwide.
I noticed walking around the car that there were so many different products on the car. I never noticed that before. I mean, I've raced against you, I've seen the car before, but now that I'm up in the booth and doing the camera work and whatnot, I've noticed that, I mean, there's Ritz and Kraft and Oreo and so many other different products on the car. It's a pretty interesting looking paint job.
Yeah, we didn't paint it. We got it off of Trading Paints, but I like to run Matt Kenseth's paint scheme, so we're going, you know, that's what we're sticking with.
Alrighty, with 35 to go, you guys got your strategy in play already? Is it set in stone, or are you gonna be tweaking it?
We got our Kicking Asphalt Motorsports teammate Paul Pellissier right with us. We just pitted. We talked about strategy, and we just made a pit stop, so we are done.
Alrighty, well, best of luck to you, sir. Hope to hear from you at the end of the night. Good luck.
Thank you, sir. Have fun.
You too.
User was
That
moved out
was
of your
Dave
channel.
Acacia. Let's take a look at our top 5. Drag Mr. Garrett Potts in here.
User was moved to your channel.
Garrett Potts, this is Ron Klein up in the booth. You got a copy?
Sure do. What's up, bud?
How you doing, sir?
Oh, kicking myself right now. I should have went in right then.
Uh-oh. So
Yeah,
strategy not on your side right now.
the strategy was to go in, and I think everybody had that same idea, but I've got 13.5, and I just don't know if I'm going to make it all the way.
Well, how many laps do you have left, sir?
I've got 30, let's see, it's 33, so I think that's about five outside, so we're going to hope for a caution here.
Alrighty. Now, are you currently on the backstretch?
No, we are coming to the start-finish line.
Gonna let you go, sir. Good luck.
All right, you too, bud.
User was moved out of your channel.
Alright, we heard from Garrett Potts.
Green
He's
flag.
a little worried about his strategy as the number 26 pulls away. Gonna jump into the blimp mode so we can see what the field's looking like. Looks like Edward Bray has moved up into the 4th position on the outside lane. Try to find Gary Whitmer Jr. See what happened with him. For some reason he seems to be off the pace. And I see Joel Guy just behind him. Not exactly sure what happened there. Go back up front to the leaders. That number 11 pushing on the number 26. That number 66 pushing on the number 40 of Garrett Potts. And you heard it, the number 31 and the number 20, both teammates in Kickin' Asphalt Racing. Look for them to be working together towards the end of the race. We still have 31 laps to go, and fuel will come into play. So no one can make it at this point. There will have to be at least a top off, a little splash and go, or if a caution does come out, can somebody afford to stay out? Oh, and we've got two in the wall. Someone just blew up. That may bring a caution out as we watch it. Still watching, still watching, still watching. Wow, that did not bring a caution out, folks. That was dangerous. I don't understand why NASCAR would not have thrown the caution flag right there. Let's go back up to our leaders and see what's happening up front. Garrett Potts and Edward Bray seem to be pulling away slightly. Garrett Potts and Edward Bray are starting to pull away from Dave Acacia and Paul Pellizier Jr. Throw up the top 5. The number 26 still being scored in 5th position. 1 lap down. Sneak back there and take a look at the number 26 car and see if he got his damage fixed. Gary Whitmer Jr. being shown in 6th position, 1 lap down as well. Edward Bray and Garrett Potts still out front. The number 20 and the number 31 have hooked up together, and it looks like they're going to try to make this interesting. They're closing the gap. .25 laps to go. Garrett Potts still running up front. Edward Bray in second. David Casey in third. Paul Pellizier in fourth. Braden Habermill in fifth. Gary Whitmer Jr. sixth. And Joel Guy seventh. As we continue to watch this battle for the top spot, 4 cars involved here. Garrett Potts, Edward Bray, David Casey, Paul Pellizier Jr. Gonna have to see how this all boils down. I'm sure these teams have a strategy. We know the 20 and the 31 are on the same team, kicking asphalt. Edward Bray, member of Black Talon Racing, and Garrett Potts, just a KMA member. Of course, all these teams are under KMA, so in essence, they're all teammates. But when you have 2 sub-teammate members together, like that of Paul Pellizier and David Casey, of course, they're going to work together best that they can to make sure that one of them ends up in victory lane. So the field looks like they're coming up on Gary Whitmer Jr., about to put him 2 laps down. I'm sure you will see Gary try to tuck in and grab a hold of these guys It looks like Paul Pellizier is going to look like he was going to go up and try to grab him, but Gary Whitmer pulls down behind them and is going to try to hang on for dear life, because once you lose that draft, boy, do you lose a lot of speed and a lot of time. So what was a 4-car battle has now become a 5-car battle. Gary Whitmer Jr. able to grab on to the back of Paul Pellizier. Now this could be interesting, because this will give an advantage to one lane or the other no matter what. The deciding factor of this race could very well be Gary Whitmer Jr. Talking with Becky Whitmer out there on the KMA TV chat. Gotta tell you, Becky, I'm just as shocked as you are. Can't quite understand why NASCAR would not have thrown a caution there. Car was sitting on the track. That's very dangerous. So couldn't agree with you more. So once again, back to the front here. Garrett Potts still sitting up front. Edward Bray hot in his tracks. The number 20 and the number 31 seem to be just fine, just sitting just a little ways back from them. Gary Whitmer Jr. rocketing around the outside. Wants to possibly get up in front of these guys and get their lap back. Looks like some strategy here. Possibly these guys are backing out. Gonna try to make this a fuel mileage race. Their fastest laps were in the 45-second range, and their last lap was in the 46-second range, 46.6. So about a second and a half off of the fastest lap. Of course, that is with a bigger field and a lot more energy in it, but showing that Mr. Potts last lap was a 47.065, meaning they've dropped about 2 seconds off of the pace when there's a full field out there. Now that could mean they're just not pushing it that hard, or that such a small pack of cars that can't run those kinds of speeds. Be interesting to see if and when they decide they want to go, what the lap times would be like. Paul Pellizier just ran a 46.7, while Garrett Potts and Edward Bray ran 47 second lap times. So could be quite interesting here towards the end. Maybe looking like these guys are going to try to stretch the fuel mileage out. Only 17 laps to go, and we will find out. It's Paul Pellizier Jr. and David Casey have taken the top 2 spots. They're pushing to the high side, and looks like they want to go. Now that lap, they all ran in the 46.6 to 46.9 time frame. Maybe these leaders, the number 31 and the 30 and the 20, excuse me, are going to push the issue and force them to run a little faster than they'd like to, and take the fuel strategy game out of it. Paul Pellizer Jr. and David Casey out front, coming up on the lap traffic of Joel Guy. Joel Guy involved in a previous incident was running very well, 4th position on the lead lap until that incident occurred. Leaders also coming up on the next car, which I believe is the number 26. And it looks like the number 5, 66. That cars real quick. Gary Whitmer Jr. Number 66, number 40, all on pit road. Garrett Potts overshooting his pit stall. Number 5 is still in the pits. May have gotten a speeding penalty. We're going to jump back up front with the number 66. Well, not up front, but back up to the number 66. Number 66 is all alone. This is not what they wanted when they came in for pits. They wanted to come in together and leave together. This will definitely hurt the number 66 and the number 40 strategy. Even though the number 5 was a couple laps down, he still had a fast car and he was helping them, so not exactly the strategy that Edward Bray was looking for. Jumping into the 3-car pack of Dave Acacia, the number 26 of Braden Habermel, 2 laps down, and Paul Pellizer. They now have a 3-car train. Dave Acacia, Paul Pellizer running 46-second laps, while Edward Bray and Garrett Potts running 49-second laps because they are not hooked up together. Got our cameras pointed at Edward Bray. Edward Bray and Garrett Potts. Like Garrett passes Edward, and Edward's going to be hot on his bumper here shortly. They're going to try to make up some time that they've lost. Meanwhile, back to our leaders. Number 26 has gotten out in front of the number 31 to get one of his laps back. And they continue to run in the 48-second laps. jump back to Garrett Potts. Bring up our compare. You can see that they're 42 seconds back from the leaders. They're going to have to really turn it up. Now, Dave Acacia and Paul Pellizier still have to make a pit stop, so that will change the time differential somewhat, but they're going to have to make up some time. We're coming to 6 laps to go. Edward Bray pushing on Garrett Potts for everything that he's got. Gonna jump back to our leaders and see if they're gonna make a pit stop in the next lap or so. Paul Pellizier running behind the number 26. The number 20 of Dave Acacia just kind of lingering back there. I can tell you that the time differential between Garrett Potts and the leaders has dropped to 39.9 seconds, so they are making a little bit of time up to the leaders. We have 4 laps to go. Expecting to see the number 31 and the 20 on pit road any moment, any lap here shortly. Unless they try a fuel strategy where they try to stretch the fuel. Dave Acacia falling way back off of the 31. 31, I believe that these guys are trying to pull a fuel strategy. I don't think they're going to pit. Paul Pellizier is desperately trying to stay in the draft of the number 26, so as he's not to burn too much fuel. Meanwhile, Garrett Potts and Edward Bray are still 35 seconds back from the leader. Dave Acacia is still falling further back. Two laps to go. And Paul Pellizier has just run out of fuel. I can hear it sputtering, folks. The number 31 has just run out of fuel. which means Dave Acacia is going to be the leader. We jump forward with him. Seeing if Paul Pellissier gets into pit lane, and he does. Take a ride with Dave Acacia with 1 lap to go. Dave has run out of fuel on the back stretch. It is spitting and sputtering. Can he coast for the win? That is the question. Dave Acacia running out of fuel. It is completely out of fuel. Down to 110 miles an hour. Will he be able to make it on fuel? I do believe he is going to coast across the finish line out of fuel, as Dave Acacia runs out of fuel, winning the race. What a strategy. Wow, what an exciting finish, folks. I can't believe Dave Acacia was able to stretch the fuel as far as he did. Let's go ahead and get our runner-ups up here. Looks like we've got Edward Bray in third. Didn't mean to flash that yet, folks. Get rid of that.
User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your channel.
Edward Bray, this is Ron Klein in the booth. You got a copy?
Got a copy.
All right, sir. Interesting finish. Talk to me about your race. Edward Bray, you got a copy?
Yeah. It was overall, it was a great race. First part of first half of the race was a little rough. Sort of weaned out some of the incidents and started having some green flag racing, and was pushing Garrett and came up with a pit strategy to come into the pits, and hopefully was going to push him to the win. But hey, we'll take third, and it's good to push Garrett for a second place finish.
Copy that, sir. Now, we watched Dave Acacia run out of fuel on the backstretch, and he managed to coast it all the way to the finish line. I was watching you guys close in and close in and close in, but you just couldn't get there. Could you believe that he was able to make it from...
That's one of the things that I was thinking of, because I was looking at my fuel, and I was believing that I was going to be at least two laps short. So basically, the choice was to go ahead and come in, get a little bit of splash of fuel, and get back out and try to get back up to the front. Knowing that they weren't going to pit, I figured that I'd be able to push Garrett to the win.
Copy that. Congratulations on a third place finish. Talk to me about the paint job, and talk to me about Black Talon Racing.
Black Talon Racing could be Elite Staples and myself. We decided to come up with a sub team under KMA. Ted Immenheiser actually painted this Impala for me. That'd be gearhead paints, and so big shout out to him.
Copy that once again. Congratulations on third place. Job well done, sir.
Thanks, model.
Garrett Potts, this is Ron Klein. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going, bud?
Good, sir. How are you?
User was
Well,
moved out of
you're
your
doing
channel.
pretty great. We got a second place out of that, even though we didn't play the fuel strategy right. I don't think anybody did, so we made it all the way around. So I actually think we could have, with the way that I was riding in front
User
of
was moved to your
Edward.
channel.
He was pushing me the entire time. He was 2 laps short, and I was talking to him the whole time. I was only 0.5, so I was like, man, if you can push me, I might. But when he said he was going in, I decided to go with him.
Understandable, sir. Understandable. So, talk to me about. Sorry, 1 second here. I don't. Why my camera will change, but anyways, talk to me about the paint job I'm showing you in a Mobile One Tracker Boats paint job.
Yeah, just a good paint job. I liked it. It was on Trading Paints. It's a Tony Stewart type paint, and I'm kind of a Stewart fan. I liked him. I like a lot. I like the drivers that he has on his team, except Danica. But they are a pretty great team, and just really liked it. So that's what I put on the car tonight. I usually run the Dale Jr. Wrangler, but the last couple times I've run it, somebody else has run it, so I didn't want to duplicate that.
Copy that. And talk to me about your strategy. Dave Casey managed to stretch the fuel. Believe it or not, I was on him on the last lap. He ran out midway through the backstretch. Can you believe he stretched it out that far?
No, I can't. And Paul ran out a lap. He had a lap to go, and he ran out. So I think one of them had to be pushing the other to keep it. One had to be off the throttle, one being full on. So he did great. He stretched out. And he did a really great job. And I wish he would have run out in turn two, because we were about 5 seconds when he hit the line. So we needed just about 5 more seconds. We could have been on top of him, but it was still a great finish and a great race.
Yes, it was. The closing rate that you guys had was unbelievable. I mean, he was. I don't know exactly, but I think he was down to around 60 or 70 miles an hour. So you guys were coming in a hurry. But anybody else, anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I'd like to say thank you to yourself and Edward and Scott and all the guys that make KMA happen. And love to come see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to try to get out on the track tomorrow and run. And just like to thank everybody who's allowed me to race here and allowed me to become part of this great team.
Copy that. Well, congratulations on a second place finish tonight. Garrett Potts, thanks for spending your night with us.
Thank you, bud.
Alrighty, and the man of the hour, Dave Acacia. How about it, Dave?
Hey, Ronald, how are you? I got no fuel to do a burnout.
That's all right. Talk to me about those final laps and the pit strategy, deciding not to pit, and how it turned out.
Well, when you were interviewing me, you saw us going to pits, and that was the last pit stop. And that was our strategy: was stay in the back, and use the least amount of fuel as possible. We thought we were going to run out coming out of four, but later on in the run, I noticed, my teammate ran out a lap earlier than me, but I saved enough where I thought I was going to run out coming out of four, which would give me plenty of time to coast. But it turned out I used a little bit too much, and I ended up running out on the backstretch. But I had a big enough lead, and I knew they were coming. I saw them drafting. I was just coasting, staying down below the line in case they were coming, stay out of the way. But it worked out.
Copy that. It sure did. And we've talked about your paint job already tonight. Interesting paint job. Said you're a Matt Kenseth fan, and that comes from one of his collections. Talk to me about your teammate and your team kicking asphalt.
Well, Kicking Asphalt is me, Paul Pellissier, Kevin Scott Nelson, and Jason Russo. We started our team up the beginning of May, and we worked together. You know, we worked strategy out. Strategy tonight worked out good for me. Paul, I think, just started pushing, and staying on the throttle a little bit too early in the run because we both pitted the same time. So he ran out a lap early. I saved enough. I wish I could have saved a little more, but I didn't want to lose their draft. But hey, it worked out, and this is not, you don't only have to be fast, you got to play the strategy as well.
Absolutely. Well, great finish, great race, great strategy. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
I want to thank all the sponsors for putting this on for us. Yourself, Jason Russo, all the other sponsors for the Monday, Tuesday, and Friday nights, and then you on Thursdays as well. You guys put on a great show, and thank you.
Copy that. Well, I would ask you to do some burnouts while I close this down, but since you're out of fuel, I guess I can't do that. So, congratulations on your win tonight, and hope to see you tomorrow night.
Okay, sir, we're going to try and make it.
Alrighty. Have a great night.
Thank you. Good night.
All right, folks. So that pretty much wraps it up from Daytona International Speedway. David Casey coming home in first on strategy. Who would have thought it? Fuel strategy at Daytona. What a race. We get ready to wrap things up and get out of here. I want to thank everybody that's watching tonight, and hope to see you tomorrow night for KMA and RTK Motorsports. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.